Hi, good morning. Good to see you. It is Monday, and that tells you that it is Mindful Monday. I hope that you're having a better start to the week, just like we are right here on the show. My name is Winnie Lubembe. So excited about today's conversation because we started it last week.
Absolutely. And my name is Mukali Mary. Really, really happy to be here. This is the day that the Lord has made. Yes, sing it.
I kept listening to that song actually.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I
listened to that song. Let me tell you, the spirit.
Karibuni sana. We started this conversation last week and it was quite something. Yes. We had loads of calls. It was very, very emotional as well. But we could not finish that conversation then. And we were talking about absentee fathers and their impact on society. And fathers are often the backbone of society. Yes. Yeah. So what happens then if there's a void there? What happens to the family, to community, society, a generation at large? Yes. Because that's where we are at now. Yes. So that is what we're still looking into today.
Absolutely. And also translating from one generation to another. Yes. I'm happy that you mentioned that because we don't look at it, the generational thing. We just think
here now, what is it?
Yeah. And then that's it. But no, down the line, it affects so many other generations to come because of the things that they learned, okay? But they will also focus on healing. And like Eric Alituambe last time, if we fix the men, to a fixed nation. Okay, fixing the nation So if we fix them, we fix everything, okay? So today we'll also focus on the fixing part, finding healing, forgiveness, and moving forward, okay? Yeah. So it's going to be an amazing conversation. At that, we'll also have a question.
Yes, we do.
Hey!
The question we are asking you today is quite heavy. Already the feedback that we're getting is quite something. And the question we're asking you today is, if you could describe the relationship that you have with your father in 3 words, what would it be?
Oh my God.
In 3 words, the relationship that you have with your father. And the TV Kenya on all our social media platforms, just indulge with us on that.
Yes, there you have it. Describe the relationship with your father in 3 words. Let me tell you, I'm like, whew.
Yeah.
Okay. Where do we start? Okay. But we'll go through your feedback as well as we continue with the conversation. But it's not just us here on set. We have our panel, and today is like a full panel, full house today. And we have some who were here with us last week when we started the conversation, and we also have other people who are joining in, the conversation. So we start. Immediate left. What do we have? We have Irene Perry, who is a single mom advocate, and today she'll also share her journey, because last week alikuwa anatupatia wisdom on insight. Leo tunaenda deep. Hi Irene.
Hi.
It's so good to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
How are you doing? How was your week?
My weekend was amazing. My week was good.
Yeah.
I can't complain.
Oh, that's really good to hear. That's good. No Monday blues here.
No.
Okay. We also have Eric Simba, who's a fatherhood advocate, joining us as well today. He was here last week as well. Hi, Eric.
Hi, how
are you? I really like this.
Yes.
I'm trying, man.
Did you know you're going to be seated with all of us here?
Right?
Let's not elevate Kaluk.
I was the only thorn in a flower pot, so I decided to become a flower.
And this is exactly what he did last week. Wisdom. Malayi.
And then you see his jacket got a bit of yellow pale. Ukiangalia vizuri sana hivi utaona iko na some bit of red. Good to see you. We should know people. Good to see you, Eric.
Thank you.
We also have Emi Gisheru. Amenda wapi? Emi Akoko. Hi. It's so good to see you. Are you comfortable?
Yes,
are you okay?
Yeah.
Unajua wewe hauko peke yako, so we need to take care of you.
Yes, I'm good.
And so you were raised from like a single parent
family,
right? Family. So you, again, we'll really love to hear from you how that was, raising. And then you recently reconnected with your dad.
Yeah, we did.
The relationship is
confusing.
Yeah. Okay, and we'll get to understand the confusing
part of it. Yeah, and get to
right?
have your answer as well to our question of the day.
I can't wait to share.
Okay, fantastic. All right, who else do we have? We have
Jackie.
Jackie Nero. I love the hair.
No Monday blues for sure.
Let me tell you, tunawasha moto with the conversation and the hair. You look fantastic.
Thank you
so much for making the time. How are you feeling? How are you doing today?
I'm good, a bit nervous, but
Really?
Why?
it's my first time.
Really?
Yeah.
We'll take care of you.
You don't look ukweli haukai. Haukai scared. Like confident, about to kill it, and spit wisdom on wisdom on wisdom. And your story is also a bit different because yours is on co-parenting. Like it's happening, it's seamless, it's beautiful.
Oh, yes.
It's working.
Yes.
Oh, and that's a good way to actually show the world, because you see most of the time tunafikiria comparing, vita
Haitaweza.
Video uchukue mtoto hata usiangalie hata tusiangaliane hata, you know, but it's good to see this other side where, hey, it works. And like Irene told us last week, put your differences aside, focus on the child. Hizo zingine ni yenyu. You're not there when you're doing your thing. I really like that. Okay. And last but not least, we have Sharon Kungu, who is a marriage and family therapist here. Kutu ground. Atuambie, and it's so good to see you. You look amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Good
much
to
for
be
making
here.
the time.
No
How are you doing?
problem.
How are you feeling on a Monday?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Excited. Looking forward to the conversation.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
I love that. I think just the women on here, you know, us included, Eric, you know, we love it. Like how diverse and different we are, from where we come from, for how we show up, and our different men's. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Karibuni sana.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, can we just do like a recap of what we started last week? Eric, do you want to do the honors? Because you are like,
Niko na mahali. Kuna mahali nimetoka. Na kuna vitu nimeona, and the people I deal with. And that, I remember that day the show continued even way after the show. I think maybe an hour later we were still talking about it, and it was quite something. Yeah.
So I think what I picked last time was very interesting.
Microphone?
Oh, sorry. Me not me power weapon. So last time I think what I picked was we had a marriage lawyer, I think, and then also we had a family lawyer. We also had a family therapist. There was myself and the one and only single mother's advocate, and I think it was a very good conversation because we were able to bring different aspects of it. But I think also we focused more on, I think it was more of exposing what's happening in the society, and then exposing what is possible. You know, if some of the laws were followed when it comes to family, if some of the fathers were present, and also she gave a very good insight about her personal life and how she's been coping. I think we came to realize as a society we need each other. There's no right or wrong, just a matter of everybody's in their own space, and they're trying to cope. So I think it was a good conversation, and I'm interested to continue with it today.
Absolutely. And you see the fact that we talked about absenteeism, and we said it's not just that one way, I may decide, I do not want anything to do with you guys and I'm out. There's so many causes for, you know, the absenteeism part of it. There's death, there's divorce, there's...
Kunyimwa watoto.
You don't even know. You're like, where? You know, so we looked at all those different dynamics, but at the same time, the impact, that it has, and we want to continue with the same today. And we said we'll start with Irene today, because she has a lot. Like, tukikapa na Irene tutakapa for 5 hours to listen to her story. But Irene, unfortunately, you lost your husband, Mr. Peru. And I remember after the show, you talked so highly of him that I wish we met him. But yes, but for the people who did not hear this part of the conversation, can we just go back?
Where do you want me to start?
Whenever you feel comfortable to start.
Well, Peru, he's the person who actually saw me as a housewife material, of which I wasn't, but I was a wife material. But I was a hustler. Bado mi lazima ni hustle. I don't know how to sit home. And he really appreciated my decisions and everything. I got into marriage. It was beautiful. I got someone who could accept me and my kids. I had 2 daughters at that time, and it was beautiful. That's all I can say. And I lost him. It was tragic. I never knew life would change in a second like that. I had hopes of him getting better, and for me, I knew he would get through it, but he didn't. So he left me with the kids and everything, and the in-laws, which was traumatic, but I told you about it. My in-laws really tortured me, and I will not lie about that. And even if they're watching me right now, they should know. They gave me a trauma that I couldn't heal from. I hated marriage. I hated men. I hated the whole thing about having a man by your side. For me to come and heal from that and even take care of my kids at the same time was something that no one knew I was battling.
Okay.
And you see many people look at single moms and they're like, huyu ako sawa, hana shida, she's okay, she's smiling, she's doing this.
She's showing up.
Trust me, it takes a lot to just compose yourself, to hold everything together and just do your normal thing every day. And even balancing. You know, single moms balance a lot of things. So it really, I started asking myself, Ndanzia wapi? Peru was there. We would sit down and ask ourselves, tufanye nini? And even I know our gentleman here can attest to that. Wanakanga na bibi yake wanaulizana sasa hapa, tufanye aje? And it's very good. Yani unapata, you're not stranded somewhere ati umekwama, uko peke yako, kuna stress. There's always someone there to comfort you every day. There's someone there to, you know, help you know how to raise these kids. Kuna mali pia watoto wanafika wanakulemea. Sasa huwezi lemewa ukiwa na mwenzako. Mwenzako lazima atakuwa akona solution to this kind of problem. Na kama hana, you two both will brainstorm and find a way out and get through this together. You know? So it was a really, really, really hard time for me. Even just transforming to a single mom again, I was like, sasa ntaanzia wapi? Nimekaa na to 9 years. Sasa ameenda. Where do we even start? Tuanze kwa rent, tuanze kwa school fees. Shule ilikuwa ile high international schools. Unaona sasa hapa sasa school fees itakuwa aje? Hii job yangu naangalia kamshahara nasema ndafanya aje? Landlord on my case hataki kujua there was death involved. You know, I had to even move to my incomplete home. Yes, it had steamer and everything and magic, but I had to move because, and I moved one night, just one night. I just woke up and I was like, naenda.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, mtu tu kwa familia ya in-laws ndio alinipigia kanambia, you know what? Before they come and take everything from you, move.
And I'm just curious, how was Mr. Peru? Like, what kind of a dad was he?
He was an amazing dad. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I thought maybe he would make it about me, but he made it about the kids.
Children.
So I was not even important anymore in the relationship. It is the kids who are saying, tutakula nini leo kuku? Mi hapana, tukule liver. Hapana. Watoto wamesema. So for me, it was amazing, and I would not feel jealous. I would be happy because I can see the love. The love was amazing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, which school do they want? The best schools? Let me get them the best schools.
Yeah.
They want to go on a weekend somewhere? Let's go. They want to go to Mombasa? Flight. Hapo. Ebu angalia flight hapo Irene. Twende.
Yeah.
Kwanza alikuwa ananiita my love. Sahi kupata mtu anakuita my love. God, Marekani. Magaidi wa Nairobi. I'm sorry, man. Sorry, but it's true.
I have a weapon, so.
That's what we're saying. But then when the transition happened for you, Irene, and now you had to take up all these responsibilities.
Yes.
And when we look at, because we're also looking at the society at large, the people around you, and well, at this point, excluding in-laws, apart from the one person who's telling you just leave, did you have a support system? How was that for you, reconnecting, fitting in society, in places that you used to go together? How was
Despite that I have a story also about my dad, I can say my dad was my support system.
Okay. Okay.
Because even when my husband died, he died in the house when I was waiting for my neighbor to take us to the hospital.
Okay.
So I'm holding my husband, he's dead in my arms. Nimemfunga mdomo macho nini, you know what happens when someone is gone. I'm crying, I don't know what to do. So the first person I called was my dad.
Okay.
The second person I called was my brother Evans. They rushed to that house. I don't even know what means they took, because someone like my brother Evans left his workplace. Hata kutaka kujua amepewa ruhusa or not. Okay. Mimi niliona mtoto amekuja. In fact, he lost his job because of me. So that is something I treasure so much, and I always say, atakuapa, so he knows.
Oh, he is.
And akuapa na sisi, ananiona.
Yeah, he's.
And I know I'll say a lot of things today, and I know he will be emotional about it, but usijali bro, we have to do this. We have to tell the world how things are out here.
Okay.
So, and my dad also came, and now he's the one who told me, sasa unajua, itabidi umwachilie. You know, now at that moment, you don't know what to do. You're still holding him like a baby. You are afraid to let go. You don't know what to do. So my dad is the one who took him off my hands.
Okay.
And helped me organize everything else.
I say that. Okay, Irene. Oh my God.
That thing never comes out of your head. Trust me.
I can only empathize. But how about we take a break? Because then that goes to show the relationship with your dad and how strong of a support system he was during that moment where you've lost the love of your life. And he says, itabidi mwachilie. I don't know how to move past that. But how about we take a break to just Then when we come back, now we'll continue with the conversation, from how you had to shift, but also hear from the others as well, that we have here on set. But also remember the question that we're asking you today, pretty heavy, but also very necessary to go back and just think, okay? And the question is,
can you describe, if you could describe the relationship that you have with your father in 3 words, what would those words be? Describe the relationship that you have with your father in 3 words. NTV Kenya on all our social media platforms. Oh,
and we're live. Yes. You can call in as well, okay? Yes. And use our WhatsApp number 0112 500 400, all right? So let's take that break. We'll see you right after.
Welcome back. Welcome back to your world, this Monday edition. On Mindful Monday today, we're continuing a conversation that we started last week on the absenteeism of fathers in society and what the impact of that is. And we have a question for you today.
Yes, the question is, describe your relationship with your father in 3 words. Just 3, okay? Describe your relationship with your father in 3 words. Like we said, at NTV Kenya across all socials is how you can reach us. Our WhatsApp number 0112 500 400, or give us a call. We're live, and ask any question, contribute to the discussion, and also tell us the relationship with your father in 3 words. What would you say? I can see a number of you have a lot to say. Tracy Vorengo says, rest in peace. I am so sorry, Tracy. Mzalendo Cheriot says, calls me every day. Season 3, calls me every day. Oh, that's really good. Anthony Williams says, me and my dad, we are good friends. We are good friends. Okay. Ike Humphreys says, I miss him. Oh. Susan Wanjiku also says, I miss him. Eric Mwaki says, rest well, Dad. Evans Amenya also says, for sure, I miss him. Bajoy says, much love, Daddy. That's good. I know. That's really good. Then someone else here says, Elijah Savari KE says, may God give Mzee Safari long life. Amen.
Amen to
that. Jocelyn Binti Monda says, my favorite person. Oh, love that. Albert Albo says, rest in peace. And Israel amesema 1 term.
Okay.
Okay. Tumewachia hapo.
Okay. And just before the break, too, we've had Irene's story, and we still have other people on the panel. So I don't know, do we get the experts first, or do we move to?
I think so.
I think maybe Eric, you can chime in on that, like the experience that you've just, because you had a few things to say then after the break.
So first of all, I empathize with you, Irene. Thank you so much for sharing your story. It's very raw. Even I can hear from your voice coming out. And so there are 2 things that I picked out. One was how you gave the parallels of fatherhood. One, you said the late Peru, who was very loving to your children, I believe to a large extent loving to you too, who tried his very best, and may his soul rest in peace, to care for your children. So, and I think those are good memories for you to say on TV that, you know, you can remember him for that. And your dad, who showed up when you really needed him. So, so one of the things I want to say is that at times people think that fatherhood is about perfection, but most of it is about presence. Because that is what people remember. Because if you meet many men, they are still in the cycle of they want to provide more physically, but the emotional aspect is missing. So if I remember my own father, now that I know better, I can't remember any day that I was with my father where we had like body touch, you know, sitting next to each other. It was more of instructional than. So I think what I'm picking up from what's happening all over, and also me being a father, is that we need to learn more to be present in our children's life. And present can mean even if you're providing, but also you have to be there physically. Because like he said, he alluded to me, I'm a father by the virtue of being married, and also having 3 children.
Yes.
So one of the things that she has said, which is very important, that at times you consult. There's communication between couples. And there's also positive masculinity that I pass to my son. And then also there's feminism that is positive that my wife passes to our daughter.
Yeah.
So I think being present in our children's life is very important. Some, it is not possible. Like some of them are saying rest in peace because that father figure is not alive. But for those who are there, I think we should strive. Whether we are co-parenting, we should strive to be there in our children's life. That's what I'm picking from her.
From her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as we move forward.
And it's so powerful. I saw a TikTok, and I can't remember the lady, but it's a young girl who said, we're busy condemning fathers who are probably not providing. The dad is a driver, Wamathri. And she said, I am just with my dad, enjoy, amenita tupatane, tukule miwa. So they were just, did you see it?
I saw that.
I was just like,
oh, yes, I saw that.
Miwa too.
Yeah.
But it meant so much to her.
Yeah.
Wow.
Are you okay?
I am okay.
Right, all of us here.
No, I'm not going to start. I'm not going to start. Sharon, please, you can chime in as we take care of our eyes.
Oh my God.
Sensing that emotional.
Yeah.
Irene, thank you so much for sharing your story, and thank you for reading the comments. That, you know, and for me, I think fatherhood, what it represents, is not just a biological role. I find that it's an emotional architecture, in the sense that someone doesn't have to be your biological father for them to show you that love. And I think, Irene, that's what your children got. And maybe that is what we need more of. We need more of men who are standing up to help out, because the rate of single parenthood, especially single mothers, is increasing daily. So where is the man? Does he have to be a biological father? I like Irene's story in the sense that for her, she had a very strong male presence in her life, from her husband to her father to her brother. And that's important in any child's life. The father doesn't have to be biological, but who else is in your life that you can use and can come in that role to fill that gap. Because it is important to have that father relationship. It helps form identity, it helps form attachment bonds. That's why we see when we grow up and you're finding it hard to form romantic relationships because you never had that connection with your father. No one showed you how does it look like to date a safe man. You know, how does it look like to be loved? How does it look like to show up, you know, as a man as well, to a child. So it's very important for us to, as a society, to create that space whereby we are able to nurture our children, even though they're not biologically ours. So if you're there, you're a man, you feel like you need to give back to society. There could be a single mother next to you. Look at what you can do to be able to empower that woman to bring up her children in the presence of a male figure.
I have a question. Is there a difference between like a dad and a father? Because if you look around our community, it's just the fact that someone give birth to you in a sense. There's that entitlement, and yet you hear so many people say, but they were never present. I don't know them. So that entitlement, first of all, do you want to just speak on it a little bit?
There's the genetic part.
Yes.
Of course. You gave birth to me. So there's that connection. But there's more to being a father than that genetic disposition. Where is the love? Where is the presence? Because you can give birth, but we have fathers who've abused their children. And that tears away that connection. So it's more than just being able to say that I was able to give life. Fatherhood is about changing the narrative in terms of being able to help this child to figure themselves out, to be a better version of you, to be a better version of of society and building the generational, trajectory in a different way. So I feel like it's not just about giving the life part. There's more to it.
Because you'll hear people saying, and I think we got that last week when somebody said, he's a father, not a dad. He's just sired, moved on, but I wouldn't call, hey daddy, hey, no.
There's nothing like that. Can we hear from Emmy? So even before the reconnecting part with your dad, just take us a little bit back into how you were raised, the environment, the fact that he is not in the picture, and were you at some point curious to just hear, but where's my dad?
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes you're very curious because you never know, like, I can speak Swahili. Right?
Yes, absolutely.
Like, you never know you're standing in front of a lie, not unless you face the truth. So you come to realize, like, my family is not complete when you go to school. You get. So that is why you're like, anyway, don't I have a dad? So when you come to your mom and then, those parents there, and they were like, so when you come to your mom and you're like, why don't I have a dad? Baba nani alifanya. So that is where you get to inaanza kuku affect little by little. And I will say that some mothers don't recognize that it affects the kids. And when it comes to the dad, what I'd like to say is, it's not about like the child growing. It's not about kamezaliwa kata grow. You get the presence really matters a lot. Like the emotional support of that kid, the mental stability of that kid. Because we may not talk a lot, but single parents raised kids, we face a lot outside here.
All right. Can we have a caller on the line? And then when we come back, we'll pick up from where you live. Okay, all right. Paul amepotea kidogo, but please call us back, Paul. But yes, so let's talk about you. Amerudi. Okay. Hi, Paul. Good morning. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for calling us this morning. Do you have a question or do you want to contribute to the discussion?
I do have a solution,
Oh, solution. Okay.
Yeah, because if you start talking about all the issues about relationship, it's a coming. So let me just offer my solution.
All right.
I think it's to the single moms. So very single many moms, wakiwa job, they get killed alafu wanasema watamleza wakiwa peke yake. But if she loses her job, another could blame men not being there. Like, umesikia about Maju, ladies who sleep with celebrities to get kids, anajua tu anataka mtoto just for the money. You get the idea? So, yeye alikuwa anataka pesa, hata si relationship. So, for discussion kama hivi, if you start talking this discussion, good to elaborate for everyone to do it. Kuna watu walikuwa wanaingia kwa relationship wakiwa wanataka do na si relationship. So hata nyinyi, because I feel so bad as a man, kila tunakuwa blamed for. Umeelewa? Msichana alikuwa anataka ball, hakuwa anasaidiwa na mwanaume. Hakuwa anataka anything about the relationship. Lakini mwanaume, sisi wanaume ndio tuna blame you about everything. Alafu you media people, you have this double standard nowadays. You're blaming everything on men. Yeah, the single mama alienda hapo akapata msichana, akapata mtoto, lakini akilose job, akumbuki sasa anaanza kuwekelea mwanaume asaidie mtoto, lakini venye alikuwa anapata salary, alikuwa na mriza kwa peke yake. Sasa akilose job, sasa ndio anaanza kusema men hawasaidiani. Umeelewa? So saidi yake ikiwa inaendelea vizuri, anasema yeye ako independent. Lakini everything ikianza kucrumble, sasa ndio wanaume hawasaidiani. So anataka, when you are offering this discussion, put to elaborate every aspect of the relationship.
Okay.
Walikuwa wamefika wapi? Another thing about, you see these kids who get, ladies who get kids when they are too early.
Too young.
Au pia, kesi yao ni different. You get the idea? So, stop naekelea everything on men. That is my take,
All right.
Also, ladies have their own responsibilities.
Okay.
To stop naekelewa everything. That is just my take.
Okay.
Sawa,
Okay.
Paul.
Thank you
Asante.
so much. Thank you so much, Paul. And we're
I
not
do
blaming.
appreciate
We're looking at the dynamics, the different dynamics. But thanks for sharing. All right, we have another caller from Busia, and it was Xavier, all the way from Busia. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for calling us today. Do you have a question, or do you want to contribute?
It's a contribution question, eh?
Okay, go ahead.
Lubende, how are you?
I am well. How are you?
I'm Hallelujah.
Yay.
So I recognize the name.
Fantastic. All right. All right, you said
It is a good topic.
yes.
Okay.
And it is commonplace. Actually and the panelist who says the families these days are being managed by single mothers. But majority, actually not majority, but increasing. Now I wanted to ask, what are the effects of let me put it in the form of an narration.
All right.
There's a father who comes on, who disappears after some time, and then after some years later comes back, and then again disappears.
Okay.
How does it affect the context of the topic we're discussing? Maybe one of the panels, the father's advocate just maybe explain.
Okay.
Let me repeat. This is a father who disappeared after fathering children, and then comes back in the life of children. Then after a while again disappears. And then later comes back and again disappears.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Or stays on now.
Okay.
All right. So the question is, how does that impact the
Yes.
the children? Okay.
This guy's pulling a Houdini.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, the first caller was that was a lot of bile. It's on a mission, man, single mothers. So first of all, I want to echo some of his sentiments that he made. I think we have to differentiate between parenthood and broken promise. Broken promise is this: I meet you, we agree that we're going to be in a relationship, right? And then in that relationship, it goes through different stages, and we end up having a child. When we met, we both knew we were in this together.
Yes.
Then one party pulls away from this relationship, and either you are left as a single mother or a single father. It goes both ways, by the way.
Yeah.
But I think it is more visible for women because number one is they're emotional, so they'll express it more.
Yes.
And also our society does not hold men to the same level of responsibility as they do women. Women, it's easier for you to be called names than a man. A man is like, it's our nature, you know. So one, what I would say is we need to understand, okay, this is now where, if you allow me, religion comes in. Okay. And I may use this aspect. The reason why, before you get married, there are simple steps that you have to go through. There's premarital, then there's the actual marriage, there's paying dowry and all that, is so that they are witnesses. All right. So it makes it harder for someone to walk away from that relationship. That's why to go through a divorce court is more expensive than walking away from a relationship that has not been solidified, either by law, customary, or in a church, right? Yeah. So this is not to apportion blame, but what I'm saying is that we both agree that there's a problem. And the problem is that, I'll start with men. I believe men have failed. All right. Because from where I come from as a Christian, we are told that men are supposed to be providers, lovers of their wife, lovers of their children. Yeah. And you know, and so we are supposed to be present in our children's life. But when a relationship has no boundaries, no standards, someone can walk in and out as they wish. I think it's also wrong to say that women in the media glorify, you know, single parenthood because they're there to make money and all that. So do men. Nowadays, I see men who go after older women. Yeah. So things have changed. So I think it is both ways. Yeah. So not a matter of apportioning blame to one sex. I think we just have to agree that the family institution, as it should be, has a problem. And it is broken. But where I come from spiritually, it is men who have to step up. Physically, unless you've gone and done boxing like my dear sister Congestina, and you are physically strong, women are sometimes, in terms of physical structure, I may not say they are weaker, but we are different. And men have more muscles, unless you prove otherwise. So I think in that sense, we are called to protect our women, protect our children, and things like that. And also we are called to provide. That begs another question. As a woman, what are your standards? Because by the time you're meeting a guy who will walk in and out is what is your value system. You must have a value system. If you have none, anything goes. And that's why I say also you must have a value system where you say, I know what I want. That may not apply to, and that's why I always say, I find it wrong when men say, but a woman got pregnant when she was 15, she should have known. That's a child, you should be in jail. What business do you have making a 15-year-old pregnant? And then you come and say, you know, she should have known better. No, you should have known better. That's a child. Anybody below the age of 18, you have no business sleeping with a child. So we can't even start having that discussion. You know, but anybody above that, we expect that you might use something called common sense, or maybe there should be somebody in your life who tells you that a relationship that is sexual in nature will end up with other byproducts, and one of them is a beautiful thing called a child. So that should be something that should be discussed before. For the second caller, I think I am here to say one thing. As fathers, we have failed in no certain terms. The country is the way it is because as fathers, we have failed. I have a problem when I see a father sending their daughter to come to Nairobi in the name of fixing the nation, and he's seated at home watching TV, waiting to bail that girl out. We have failed. Because as fathers, there's certain responsibility that we should have held on even right now. Like I keep on saying, the nation is where it is because we as men have not stood up. Many, I even remember the other time we were talking, they just bring this into topic. We are talking about things like, simple things like sanitary towels, where a woman should go through it with a lot of dignity. They have to put it as a law in parliament. That shows you how far we as men have fallen off.
Oh, wow. Okay, we literally have 2 minutes to go on a break. The impact on the child appears, disappears. Appears, disappears. What does that do to a child's psychology? Oh, wow.
First of all, I believe that lack of moral responsibility, we cannot equate that to poor parenting. Those are two different things. Let us get that very clear. On the child, attachment issues. I cannot stress how that coming in, going affects the child emotionally, mentally, and that is why we have so many failed relationships. Just to cut it short. The number of failed relationships we have is as a result of the attachment wound that we received as children when we were growing up. If you had an absent father or an absent mother, that's why we see anxious attachment. We hear people who are getting into relationships 2 weeks out. 3 weeks out. Simple as that.
And guess what? We started a conversation on attachment 2 weeks ago. Tunamalizia kesho. Maybe tutamaliza because there's so much still on attachment and the background and how we're raised and all. And let me tell you, we learn. Hey, we're like, and then, But we need to take a break, okay? Then when we come back, Jackie, after how I promise. We also want to hear from you on how it's working, how you managed to get to that level where differences aside, whatever it is that caused the rift between us, we put that aside and we focus on the child and how that also positively influences the child and also you as a parent. We really, really like to hear from you. And also,
so we'll definitely get into that. But right now, we just take that break.
We'll see you right after. Right, welcome back. Officially in the second hour of the show. Time flies. There's someone who's messing with the clock somewhere.
I know.
There's someone who's messing with the clock. And today on the show, it's all about absenteeism. That is in terms of, fatherhood and its impact on the society. But before we even say anything, we have a caller back to back to back. Is it Wambura from Makueni who's joining us now? Good morning.
Good morning, Winnie and Umikali.
Good morning. Thank you so much for calling us today. Do you have a question or do you want to comment?
Both.
Okay.
Finally, nimeingia NTV.
Karibu NTV.
I've been watching your shows, Winnie.
Oh, wow. Okay, thank you.
And Umikali, especially on the Elevate.
Oh,
and I appreciate a lot. I have a very big affinity for a working society.
Great.
From the onset. Pengine nitachanganya lugha kwa hivyo.
It is okay.
Nitachanganya lugha mnielewe.
It's okay.
I have to say that nimekuwa bila mama. But I did not see my dad.
Okay.
Though the society around me gave me so many fathers.
Okay. Wow.
And so growing up without a mother, but with several, so many fathers or mentors, if I may call them so.
Yeah.
From one to another, I was learning, although by then I was speaking a lot of negativities, but as I grew up into adulthood, I realized that there were a lot of positives that I was to pick than even the negative.
Okay.
So I want to wind up.
Okay.
How do we expect society to have fathers, yet the society is churning out boys?
Okay.
And the girls are only sires of children. Actually, they are girls, not mothers. The ones who are single are not encouraging the ones who have not given birth to get married. In fact, they adore single parenting. And it works on both sides.
Yeah.
Even with some men who are single are adoring singlehood. So you wonder.
Okay.
For me, the absentee fathers and even parenting as a whole begs to the question of poor parenting. Because our children are growing up to age 15, up to 18, they are still boys.
Yeah.
They end up giving birth or impregnating some girls, yet they are still boys.
Yeah.
They grow up to 25, they are still boys. How do we expect them to father children or even father those ones that are not theirs?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Our girls, let me wind up, then ask a question.
Okay.
You realize that some of the girls were impregnated when they were still very young. So that art of embracing family, complete family, they lost it. Okay, the ones who are single parents, be it on either of the sexes or the genders actually.
Yeah.
One thing that I have to put across for them to embrace, can we first embrace the men around us? Because I think when you live in the society where there are some few men who are still embracing fatherhood and parenting, can you embrace them?
Okay.
And then men, can we embrace women?
Okay.
Then a question.
All right.
How do we help young fathers who even impregnated or sired children while they were still in high school? How do we help girls who gave birth while they were still young and as they grew up they lost it? Anything to do with parenting, anything to do with fatherhood? That's my question.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Wambura.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Asante sana. We'll answer it during the show. But before we answer your question, we have Margaret from Nairobi. Good morning. Margaret, are you there?
Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for calling us. Do you have a question or a comment?
Nilikuwa nataka kuongea kwa sababu last week niliona mkiongea na nikaona hiyo kitu inafuatilia sana about watoto wa single parents. And me ni single mother of 2 grown-up children.
Wow. Okay.
Hawajai enda kutafuta baba zao. Hawajai niuliza about baba zao. Hawajai niuliza alienda wapi ama ilifanyika nini. Na saa hii kila mmoja ako na mtoto. So I think mtoto wana shida about bring up. Kwa sababu unapomlea mtoto ukimwonyesha njia ambazo unaweza kuwa leo umeamka umemwonyesha Onyango, umemwambia huyo ni anko yako, Kesho kutwa unakuja unamwonyesha Kimani, unamwambia huyu ni anko yako. Hiyo kingine unamletea mtoto, unamwambia huyu ni anko yako. Sababu mtoto atakuwa confused na atakuwa na maswali mingi wakati atagrow up. My children niliwapata nikiwa mtoto mdogo. Sikuwa mtoto mdogo sana. Na unasikia sasa wote wawili wako na watoto.
Yeah.
Kijana ako na mtoto, msichana ako na mtoto. Watoto wakubwa. Na wajaiuliza kitu. So ile kitu mimi ningeomba kwa single parents, kwa single mothers, wacha niseme single parents, niko kwa single mothers.
Okay.
Single mothers ni sisi tujue venye tutalea watoto wetu. Ukishajua umekuwa single mother na hauna mtu anaweza angalia agawie watoto wako mahali, wewe tafuta venye utakaa na watoto wako na uongee na wao, wasianze kukuuliza baba yetu yuko wapi. Ile kitu kingine, usianze kuwaletea watu ati kwa nyumba wanakuja. Mimi wakati nilipata watoto na nikaamua na moyo wangu, juawa nimepata watoto na wao siwa. Okay, hata sijaitaka kujua walienda wapi. Na sikutaka kujua wanafanya wapi.
Okay.
Sitakaki kujua wako hai ama wako hai.
Alright.
Because walinipatia special thing, walinipatia precious thing in my life.
Okay.
Nikalea watoto wangu vizuri, nikawalea kwa njia inayostahili, nikawaonyesha njia za Mungu, wacha niseme hivyo.
Alright.
Na wakagrow up wakijua ya kwamba mom, you are the only. Kwa nini? I remember one day watoto kijana akiwa form nilikuwa katisha chini na nikawaambia nataka kuolewa. Do you know what they told me?
Yeah.
Wakati tulikuwa na shida, huyu mtu alikuwa wapi? Unaona?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it will depend na vile umewalea.
Okay.
Tuache kuwekelea wanaume mzigo ukisema ati mwanaume alinipatia mimba, akatoroka, alinifanya. Nyinyi wote mjisikia raha. Kwa hivyo nyinyi wote ni wa kublamiwa. Kama mtoto atapata tabu, wacha nipike tu hapo, naweza ongea mpaka kesho.
Sawa, asante Margaret.
And we have Isaiah on the line. Where? Good morning, Isaiah, all the way from Nairobi. How are you doing? Oh, is that Isaiah? Isaiah, uko na sisi ama umeleft? Hi. Okay, we've lost Isaiah. Okay. Oh my days. Okay, and we also have feedback from WhatsApp. But before that, I mean, Jackie, salimia watu watafanya.
Tusikie hata sauti.
We've not heard from you since we started. But I'm sure you followed the conversation based on what has been said here and also from the calls. First of all, what do you make of it? Because you are co-parenting and it's working, okay? But first of all, what do you make of the conversation today?
I think what I can say, I think what she said first is very important. Presence, because you can be there, you are there, the dad co-parenting, you just send money, but they don't see you. They see you like after a year, but you talk to them, and then these phones nowadays, they made us think that as long as you're video calling, that's presence. It is not presence. You have to be there physically. You take them for lunch, listen what they have to say and all that. So I think for me, generally presence is just important. Very important in co-parenting.
If you don't mind me asking, sometimes I'm nosy beyond, again, to a level that you're comfortable, so that we hear a little bit about your backstory and what caused the drift between you and your children? Father.
I see the word you're running away from.
Like what caused that rift and what sort of like led you to getting to that level where you're like, you know what, let's raise these kids, you know, forget everything that happened between us, to a level that you're comfortable to share.
Okay. What I'll start by saying, I think just immediately after high school, that's when I met my baby daddy.
Okay.
So I hadn't like dated, I hadn't done anything. So immediately we hit it up, and then we have a 10-year difference. So he had done everything and all that. We had just started, and then after like 2 years of dating, we moved in together. We went to introduction, just introduction, and then 2 years later, baby number one came. 2.5 years later, baby number 2 came.
Okay.
Then, by then we were together for like 12 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, dated 2, then married 10. So that's 12. And then things just started happening. And then, you know, you're young, you don't know how to handle some stuff. Sometimes it's a tiny thing, but you just blow up, But he was a good person. Like, he has never even raised his voice to me or even been violent or anything.
Yeah.
It's just that I say, if I had this mind right, like back then, I think we could have sorted issues and all that.
Okay.
By the time I reach to, like, I'm leaving, I'm one person who, when I get done with something, I finish there. Like, I heal there, I'm done. So when I'm done, I'm done. So I left.
Okay.
Then when I left, of course, there was issues, because when we left, my kids were still young. I just explained to them, now I'm working at a different place, so you'll have 2 homes. I didn't tell them, like, they never knew there is anything, like, we have issues with the dad.
Okay.
They've never seen us even, like, fighting or anything. Yeah, so I just told them, Mommy has gotten a job somewhere else, so you'll have 2 homes.
Okay.
So you'll be schooling with Mommy, and then when you close school, that is what I thought. I had planned everything myself. And then now, when I moved out, baby daddy wasn't, I think there was just something, because I remember my son used to tell me, call daddy. And then I called for like a month. He was not picking and all that. So one day I decided, let me just text. I was like, listen, when you see this phone calling, it is not me. It is your kids calling. So just pick the phone, just talk to them. Yeah. Me, I don't even have to be part of this life. Yeah, me, just talk to them. Yeah, so like, I remember now, from then, he started picking. So they used to talk, so kids didn't know there was anything. Yeah, and then now later on, 6 months later, it was when we were coming from my brother's. It was December. Then they were like, Mom, we're going to town. Yeah, they know the dad works in town. Can we see Daddy? I was like, call him. So they called, Daddy, we're coming to town. Can we see you? He was like, give Mommy the phone. So we spoke 6 months after. Yeah, that's when we spoke now.
For the first time?
The first time. So I picked. I was like, yeah, hi, you're coming to town. Yeah, just go somewhere. Tell me where you are, order what something, then I'm coming. So when we met, maybe, I don't know, me, I just hugged him. We were just okay. We had dinner together and everything happened. And he even took us to the bus stop. And then that is it. Now that's how we started cooperating. Now, from then, the same December, because you see now when I moved, he was not picking my calls and all that. So God came through. I paid school fees and all that. So me, I never bothered him about anything. Yeah, so like now after that, he's the one who gave me a call. He told me, I want us to talk. So I went and we sat down. So he was like, now, about this and this and this.
About this and this and this. Oh my God, I'm so invested in this. I know, me too. We have Isaiah on the line. Okay, Isaiah is back. Thank you so much for your patience, Isaiah. But yes, do you have a question or a comment? Isaiah, are you there?
Hi.
Hi. Good to hear from you. Do you have a question or a comment? Yes, we can. Yes. Isaiah.
Oh, okay, great. Oh, so yes, my name is Isaiah. I know Simba. Simba is my friend.
Oh, hi.
Please turn down the volume of your TV so that's true.
Yeah, so okay, so I think it's a good contribution towards the fatherhood topic. I think it's one of the, myself, I think I grew up without, I have a father, but an absentee father. And it does, fathers contribute a lot in the growth of any child, both genders. Even as you grow up, there are people who look at fathers as our heroes, you know. And now that I'm married, I have a child. My prayer is that I am able to be not just to be a father who is rare as a title, but a father who is present, who is a provider, who is a priest, who is at home, you know, to take care of your child. Something that I missed growing up. So I think for me, it's such a big
topic that really has a big contribution and impact in the life of any child. That's what I just wanted to contribute.
Asante sana, Isaiah.
Thank you so much, Isaiah. I really, really appreciate it. Okay, to Malize, I love to go to Amy, because then there's so much again that we need to pick from Amy's, and then to we close the conversation. Hopefully we'll manage to get through everything before we end the show. But yes, 6 months, is it 6 months ago or a few months ago?
6 months later when we spoke, now when we did the dinner, so now he called me back. That was December. Now January, kids are going back to school, so he doesn't know how I manage or anything. So he told me, let's sit down. So now we came up with a plan. He was like, this and this and this, I'm gonna do this and this and this, I'm not gonna do because you're the one who decided to leave. And then now we started co-parenting that way. And then, yeah, I think that's it.
That's about it.
Yeah,
it is.
And then now that's when we decided that now, since you already moved them the school, so when they're in school, you'll be staying with them. When they close school, I'll be staying with them. And that is how it has been all through now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Seamless.
And then,
right?
COVID time now, I'm in 2 events. So COVID came, it hit. So I don't have anything. He used to send us money for food every day.
Wow.
Yeah, till we were back. So he has been there. I can say he has been there. Very good dad, and I'm the disciplinarian. He and Wanadekeza. So they love him more than me.
Okay. I think it's really beautiful to hear that, because most of the times we're so stuck on a narrative that is probably the loudest. Where tuliwachana achungi, and that's the loud one. You know, tunasikia kila saa, but it's so beautiful that we have you on the show today to just hear that.
When I come to town, I always pass by.
Unamsalimia?
Tunaongea.
We go for lunch. Unaona ni kama
for now, no.
Okay. For now, so it's not a close to.
You never know. Never say never. But no.
We can always hope. Come on, I watch you show. Sisi ni ambassadors. I think do we go back to Amy for just a bit? Amy, you mentioned something earlier, and you said how it's disturbing. You know, you went through things and you didn't quite particularly point them out. What are some of the things that you would say as a child you experienced, knowing that dad is not in the picture and mom is necessarily not having that conversation or telling you exactly what happened to daddy?
Okay, first of all, I'll say that parents need to stop being selfish. They really need to stop being selfish, because at the end of the day, when you guys were meeting and doing whatever you were doing, we were not there. So, like, put your differences aside. Whatever happened. It's about this kid, because we get placed in a constant battle that we do not understand. So as for me, I'll say, like, I used to feel like all the time I'm battling something which I'm not even quite sure about. Leo mepelekwa huku. And then for me, my dad was not there. So my mom used to remove me from home and take me to the mother, to my shosho. And then unekwa hapo kwa gate, wana fight ma battles zao uko tu hapo.
Shosho wa kina dad ama shosho wa mom?
Shosho wa kina dad. You get, so from today you're with mom, tomorrow you're with shosho, and then you're like, kwani this dad that they're fighting about ako wapi? You get. So kila saa you're in a constant battle that you do not quite understand very well. And it really affected me. It really, really affected me. So even when it came to reconnecting with my dad, I'm like,
how did that happen? How did that happen? When was the first time you probably saw him or heard of him? Probably interacted.
My mom passed. So when she passed, I had to go to live with him.
So shosho
to my shosho.
To the dad's side.
To the dad's side. So that is where I came to meet my dad. I'm not like, this is your father.
How old were you?
I think I was old, because I was around 13, 14.
13, 14, you're a child.
You should go through a lot.
13, 14. So that was the age I was when I reconnected with my dad. And then we never even had a connection. It's really like, that's your dad, full stop.
So what was that like? For you, when someone person said, that's your dad, what is the feeling?
Confusing.
Okay.
Because you're told like you have to start calling them dad, and you're like, how do you even start saying the word dad? And you've not, I don't even know you, like you get. So it becomes so frustrating at some point, confusing, trying to build a relationship with this, okay, sorry to say this, but with this man now that you're meeting and you're being told is your dad, how do you start? And I feel like for me, when my dad came back, alikuwa anataka a good, like already to connect you in a, like you're my dad, kuna ile bond, which I believe haingekuwa. No matter how up to date, I still struggle with that, because that bond is not there completely. You get? So it's a constant struggle. Now that you don't have your mom, you just have your dad. No, you're told to respect them. And then my dad is a drunkard. Nanga uko, wanga tu. Ako shughuli zake tu. And ako like, you're my daughter, you have to do this, you have to do this. I'm like, I've just nimekujua nikiwa 14, like take it slow. Take it slow. And then at the same time, I wouldn't say I was embraced in their side. You get? So it was also a fight. You get? To get accepted by them, to get accepted by your dad. You're being chased out, kicked out at a very young age, and you're like, where am I going? You get? And then this man comes, I'm your dad, and you're like, piss off.
Like I don't.
Just go. Where are you? Like, unadu?
Oh my days. Listen, we have like 3 minutes to go on a break, and I do not want to like rush through the point and then we go. Can we take some WhatsApp feedback, and then when we come back from the break, we'll start with you, because that's a lot. So at only 13, you're told this is your dad, and you're expected to respect them and have that bond and all those things. And even after the reconnection, they're not present, is what we're getting from.
They're still not present.
Still not present. So then how do you navigate that? Because now you are expecting. So I'm also curious to understand, so having gone through what you went through and having learned the lessons that you've learned, what does then parenting look like for you? You know? So like, where? For more heavy. What's have to stop at WhatsApp? What should I say? The WhatsApp number is 0112 500 400. Let's hear. And this is in response to the question that we asked, and that is describe your relationship with the dad in 3 words. Hi, you're
laughing at me, it's fine. NTV, you're well. This is Nzomo Peter from Uganda. I can describe my relationship with my father, words as loving and supportive. 2 words, loving and supportive.
That's really nice.
Hi, it's Polly from Karatina. My dad is loving, caring, and always available for us.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay.
Live forever, dad. Okay.
Really nice.
Just celebrated 50th birthday. Have a family of my own, vowed to be present, but still yearning for my absentee father. He's 50. Your world, NTV. I'm watching the show and I'm super jealous for people who have responsible dads and non-absentees. My dad is alive, but I was raised by mom. We used to talk and do meetups with him, but after college, everything changed. It's like I'm not his son anymore. We no longer talk, and it's now 2 years. Somehow I feel the feeling of hatred towards him. Let me not paint the situation. I hate him.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I knew my father in 2018. He ran away from home in 2005 when I was only 2 years old. I really don't have any bond with him. I'm sure he doesn't even know my first name. The school I went and the course I'm taking in campus, he is very irresponsible. Irresponsible, deadbeat dad.
Okay.
Hi, Enoch Kisombe from Taita Taveta, watching live the conversation.
All right, thanks, Enoch.
Hello, I am Emmanuel from Nairobi. The problem that our ladies have today is that they place much pressure on men. To an extent, men divorce them. There are the causes of depression among men, the reason some men can't even register their presence.
Hey,
Maulana.
What's that to Pumue? Hey, what's that to Pumue on that note? I mean, clearly, there is a problem that needs to be fixed, right? And we established this even last week when we started the conversation, and even now. So the question is then, how do we fix this? How do we fix this? But before that, there's one more. There's one more. Weeks go.
Hello. Chikamai Baridi. I like your today's topic, but my case is different. I took my kid when he was 2 years old. Everything was going on well until my kid started going to school. The kind of questions I'm being asked, where he's like, who will take care of me if you happen to die? And can you cry if I die? Remember, he's almost 6 years now, and the mother is invisible, and she doesn't care at all.
A single father.
Single father.
Oh, wow. And sometimes those questions can be difficult to answer, but we have people here who will help us, answer those questions, and experts as well. So watch out to take a break to find you to Rusa. Okay? Then when we come back, how then do we fix this problem? And this is as far as broken families, single parenthood, absenteeism, and in this case now it's from either side, okay? The last comment clearly, states that. How do we fix it, okay? We'll come back with more. Do stay with us. The show is Your World. Oh, wow. I read this up here saying hallelujah. Yes. And that's Wawicha, I think, with that video. I read what was going through your mind, Akisema, you were like, yes.
As we said last week, the society criticizes judges and puts us down, single women, single moms, single moms. And unapata, it's like they say like we are not supposed to be dating, tunaonyesha watoto nini. Let me tell you, we're also human beings. We need someone by our side. The fact that I lost a husband doesn't mean I can't try again. I've tried again, it failed, yes, fine. But it doesn't mean that's the end of it. You need to kiss so many frogs to get to the right one. Ben was the right one, but I have to get again the right one. And I must say I found the right one, by the way.
You did?
Yes, I lost my kids.
Okay.
Yes, he treats me right.
Oh.
He values me as a single mom, and he appreciates me.
I
want to tell men outside there too. Don't be afraid to date a single mom just because unaona kona watoto. Ati unadhani utapewa hizo responsibilities. I was doing just fine before you came in. I know how I was paying my bills, my school fees and everything. So you coming in, you just coming for me. There's that part of me that needs that person. You know, I can't talk to my kids about some things, but with you, because I know you're my love, you're my babe. You're my personal you're my personal person.
Like she's
hata kama atawatch baadaye. Anajua alikuwa shani wish the best up and all. Because let me tell you, men are scared of us. They think we're going to push responsibilities and nini, And let me tell you, what is wrong with a single mom telling you, help out here? You came into her life knowing she has kids. If you're taking care of her, trust me, it was the whole package. There's no way you'll take me and leave my kids.
No.
It's me and my kids. And of course, I don't give you all my responsibilities. At your rent, school fees, no. Of course, nitakwambia maybe, babe, can you buy me shopping? For the kids, like chakula. That is something. Hata ukikuja kwa hiyo nyumba si utakula. So some things like that. Ukitaka kunipeleka out, saa zingine consider the fact that these kids are seeing wewe ukinitoa ukinipeleka out. Why don't you say one weekend, kuja na watoto tuwapeleke swimming, let's go sit somewhere.
I have a question, Irene. So this is a new person coming in, and so how do you make sure that they bring the right values to because in a sense they sort of like help parent your children, so how do you navigate just to make sure that this one to side to lead the kids positively,
because you've been doing a good job by yourself, so utaki mtu anakuja anaweka minus
I know, na pia hiyo trust kumpe ati liwe aanze kuongelesha watoto wako. It's not that easy. It's not easy. It takes a lot of time. Like me, I gave mine a year and a half for me to learn this man, to know what kind of man is this. Before nianze kumwambia ati hata ongea na huyo anataka kukusalimia, ama I tell my kids there is someone. They knew about that someone. I used to say, that's my friend. I'm talking to my friend. Because, of course, I do not want to put them in this other world I've started, this other thing I've started. Because still, wakozileza, I wish dad was here. Like my daughters, they're always saying, I wish dad was alive. Things would have been different. I wish dad was this. And it really hurts me. So I'm like, so nikileta mtu, mtashinda mkimwambia, we wish dad was here. Aungekuwa hapa. Unaona, such things.
Because it's their journey, really.
But I had to talk to them. I had to talk to them and tell them, how long has it been? So look at me. Do you see other moms with a partner, someone? Yes. Have you seen even other single moms, they are getting married? Yes. I also need that. Mommy needs that. There are things I can't talk to you. There's a support I need from an adult and not you. So you need to understand I need a support system from another adult of which I need to move on. Yeah, but I still love your dad. Wherever he is, be he rest in peace. And we love him so much. We love him so much. We'll never forget him. He did so many things for us. And they understood. And what I was talking about, you have to take your time because we've seen our relationship. There's a time something was in Facebook. A lady brought a guy, a boyfriend, and she was a single mom to a small kid. I think she was around almost a year or two. And the guy decided one day to take the child at Yanampeleka out. Went and raped the child. Went and dumped the lifeless body of the child. You remember that story? I think all of you must have seen that story. That thing turns single moms off. Anytime we see such things, zinaanza kufanya tunajiuliza maswali mingi sana. Kwanza, like me, I have 3 girls. So if I imagine someone who come and do that to my 3-year-old Charmaine, no.
So that means your words are up. You have to be very, very
I have
careful.
to be, ndasema na Kiswahili kukarada. Yes, and I will not bring that one into my life. I'll tell you for sure, yes, he is. He talks to them, but not sana. But it's not because I do not want to. I'm still learning him, and I appreciate him. He does the best he can for them, and I appreciate it because it's not a must. He's not entitled to my responsibilities. Yeah, he's just there for me, and when he extends that help, I'm happy. I'm happy I have someone who understands this is a mother, and the least I can do is help out. Help out wherever I can. Yeah,
I think
a bit of boundary.
Life is life, and I like Eric said earlier, Irene is very genuine and open. But before we went on a break, we had Emmy open up and tell us about her journey reconnecting with dad and how it's a very confusing state where there are things that are expected of you, demanded of you, but you feel like you're not showing up as, I don't know you as dad. I don't even know how to say it. And we have our experts here today. Maybe we can start with you, Sharon. Having heard from Emmy, what would you say?
I think as I'm seated here, it's like I'm back in the therapy room. These are the stories I hear from women, from children, every single day. And honestly, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart for Emmy. It breaks my heart to imagine that after not knowing your dad for so long, and then here he is and he's expecting you to pick things up. Like, you know, like nothing ever happened. And even as I'm thinking that, I'm reminded of one of the fathers of marriage and family therapy theories. His name is Moribo, and he talks about differentiation. What that means is separating yourself emotionally and intellectually, your intellectual and emotional functioning from your family of origin. And if Emmy was my client, that is what I would tell her, that is where she needs to begin. She needs to differentiate herself, and she needs to start from a point of, me and him are totally different. We are 2 different people, even though he's my father. I have emotional needs. I have needs that were not met, and he cannot force me to be what he wants me to be. So how then do I put those boundaries to make sure that I am emotionally healthy, to make sure that even as she's expecting her children, that she doesn't transmit the same heart and the same patterns to her own children. So it begins from a point of understanding that you need to put the boundaries. You need to speak out and say, this is what I missed from you. And this is what I require from you now. And this is the capacity I have as of now. So you are meeting me here.
How do you start those conversations? Because again, I think we were talking about this during the break, where there's the expectation, I am your dad, I am the carrier of the blessing or the curse. Okay? So there's that fear that you need to sort of like respect, obey this person, not because you want to, not because you feel it's right, but because there's that expectation, entitlement, that sometimes you go around life with wounds and all these things just because you were scared to start this conversation. How do you start?
By loving yourself more.
Loving yourself more. Wow.
That's where it starts.
Ooh. Wow.
Love yourself more. Love yourself more than you love the other person, to be able to stand up for yourself and to speak out and say, enough is enough. You're my dad. I love you. I respect you. I understand. We are Africans. There's a cultural dynamic to this. But at the same time, this is what I need. And in the event you feel that you cannot be able to voice yourself or express yourself in that way, seek help. That's why we are here.
Okay. Have you, Emmy, have you sought help? Have you talked to a professional or not yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Would you want to, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe just to add, sometimes in terms of counseling and therapy, we don't come in when things are bad. We come in to set the stage for you to be able to have that discussion in a safe environment whereby Emmy will feel safe, the dad will feel safe, and the discussions will be able to be had in a way that everyone is heard, so that she can be able to speak her piece and he can be able to speak his piece. And that way the healing begins. It's not a one-time thing, it's a journey, but it has to begin from somewhere.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm curious to hear from you, Jackie. So since that decision, that listen, let's take care of those babies that we got together, how would you say that has influenced your children and even the way you see parenting? How would you say that has influenced them?
Well, when they were young, when we were separating, I think they didn't know anything. Then they used to even school us. We have two homes, because now they'll hear daddy came with mommy. Then they're like, why here?
Maybe sometimes they would boast in school. Like, we have two homes.
They didn't know. But right now, I think when they grow up and all that, and then maybe from relatives or even friends or some people, it's like they're understanding somehow this is some separation, but they can't tell me. But we decided we'll never tell them unless someone decides now I'm bringing someone new into the life.
Wote bado mko single?
Tuko sawa.
Winnie, we're on a mission. Yes, we are. Okay, Jackie, endelea pole.
Yeah, so even visiting. By the way, my son is 16 and a half. My daughter is 14. So right now they are big. They understand everything. We are best friends, we talk. So yeah, there's 2 points they can say. Unaona kabisa, wanajua what is happening.
What is happening.
Yeah, but we've never shown them. We've never told them and all that. Yeah, we go for lunches, visiting za shule. We go together as parents. We are together. Yeah, so...
You guys,
mchezo hapo hivyo, by the way. Tukutume kwa Sharon.
Tuko sawa. Venye tuko sawa. It's even better than before.
You're better as friends than me. Okay. All right. Can we have a lot of feedback on WhatsApp before we even look at? You want to? Okay. So yes, as we prepare
now, because I have a feeling. So just listening to these feedbacks that I'm getting, and I want to say this personally. Sharon has been one of the therapists that we have in our community center. Surprise, surprise. So, and I know one day she'll share a story. It's not my place to share a story, but some of the people come to assist women because they know what it means. And at times it's easier for a woman to relate to another woman. And even if you look at the conversation today, watu wamefunguka, but now, for me, it's more of like, why are we here? If I just think of what everybody has shared from Emmy to everything that is happening, is that I think the reason why these women are elevated more in terms of single parenthood is because in our society today, women are at a position where they're visible. Before they were not. You know, they were known to be back home, unakaa nyumbani and all that. But nowadays they have spaces where people can see you on TV and you guys look amazing. They can ask questions, they can tune in. So people are starting to ask themselves questions. They are becoming more bolder to ask about what's happening and all that. So one of the things that I think also to cure some of the problems, even as we're talking about them, is we have to realize that in any relationship that you're getting into, any human being born of blood will disappoint you. If you want to be happy for the rest of your life, marry ice cream. Or get in a relationship with an ice cream. But if it's a fellow human being, they will challenge you.
They will disappoint.
And so if you don't know what you're looking for, you'll walk away at the easiest opportunity that you get. And that's why you find single mothers are the way there. Because you find, maybe you just ask for something extra. I need a house or maybe something that's like, no, you've become a gold digger. Umesikia wapi, and then you walk away. And also think also is because we've demonized single motherhood. I watched on TV with horror when a pastor goes ahead and says single mothers are not welcome in their churches. I was like, okay. I did. I actually watched that. And the other part is also is that when you go to school, children from single parenthood, especially where the mother is involved, are treated differently than other pupils or students. When you go even to churches, you know, when it comes to responsibilities in the church, single mothers are rarely given that opportunity because they are seen as a threat.
Okay.
I think maybe it's time to also start, you know, even in school, we should start preparing our children, our boys, to know that you are going to encounter a child who's coming from a single parenthood, and this is how you treat them. It has to start from our homesteads, our churches, our community, because there's this famous saying called Ubuntu. You are because we are. That used to be the saying, and it was very hard for you to see in a society where a child is growing up, even if it was only the mother taking care of, other people stepped up. What went wrong and why? So that's why I think we need to accept that there's single parenthood, there's single, you know, both male and female. So we need to start paying more attention. Also, we should start teaching our boys what it means to be a father. And also, fatherhood should be a carefully calculated move. If you're not ready, I'm saying this as a man of the cloth, if you're not ready, there are other ways to stop it before it happens. If you're not ready, I dare say that. Because it is happening. We can't bury our heads in the sand and say it is not happening. We have to talk about fatherhood from a very early age. We should start talking to our sons. Tell them that one day, if you engage in this act, you might make somebody pregnant. And if you do that, you are taking responsibility. Me, I never made any girl pregnant because my mother told me, if I hear you've made any woman pregnant, you are marrying that girl. That in itself stopped me from doing that. You see, so I think we have to accept. So how I turned out. So what I'm saying is, we have to embrace the fact that it is happening, but how the society has responded to it has made it worse.
Okay, interesting. Hey, what's up?
Tusome feedback. Alafu tukirudi basi watatuambia description ya 3 words.
Oh yes,
the question of the day. Okay,
so yes. Okay, this one says, I do have a question. As a mom, how do you foster a relationship between a dad and his kids for the dads who wish to be present in their kids' life? Okay. All right. Do you want to answer that? And also, there's a question, young boys and young men, young boys, when they pregnant young girls, how do we sort of like prepare them for fatherhood, if that is what they asked? Or
but they're not even fathers. It's just like their children getting children pregnant. So they can't transfer any knowledge because they have none. So they are the fathers now who gave birth to children who have not gotten anything in terms of what fatherhood is all about. And then the same
cycle continues. Okay. Sharon, do you want to answer that?
I think it's in terms of just being intentional about parenting. Okay, let's actually, I think I remember the questions. There's a part where they talked about marriage and then brought in the parenting aspect. First of all, the reason why young people are not getting married is what they're seeing in marriages right now. So why would I want as a young person to experience what my mom went through if it was a case of domestic abuse? Or why would I want as a young man to be shouted at every single day in a marriage? So I won't just simply marry. If I'm looking for a child, then I'll just go ahead and look for a child. And that's why we are seeing the rate of single parenthood increasing. Because the marriage in itself as it is right now, we are not portraying it as a society as it should be. So let's start from there. Fix the marriage. Fix the two people in the marriage. That translates to children wanting to have what the parents have. In terms of parenting, let's separate marriage from parenting. Those are two different things. And I like Jackie's experience. They were able to do that. The marriage did not work. That subsystem did not work. But it doesn't mean that the parenting subsystem fails. You two can still co-parent and raise wonderful children together. You just have to be intelligent and mature about it. So we need to move from this point of that we are intertwined by marriage and that affects how we parent. Those are two different things.
Oh, really
two very different things.
Wow. Okay.
So that's where we need to get to.
Right?
It's the marriage and everything with it. You know, which is not true. It shouldn't be.
I'd also like to challenge our government in terms of policy. We need, as a government, to be able to put in policies in place because we say the family is defined in the Constitution. It is defined in the Constitution. So what policies are in place to make sure that as young adults who are coming into the age of marriage, they understand what marriage is, they understand what parenting is. We need to have free parenting classes that possibly could be mandatory for people who are coming into age. That way we reduce the number of cases whereby we have single parenthood, we have people who are not, you know, being able to, not matching up to parenting. So the government also has to come in, honestly speaking, because it's a societal problem, and that's where the shift begins.
You know, like they always say, nobody teaches you how to be a parent. Maybe we need those classes.
And also marriage workplace. So not all of them are. Watu kama sisi tuko hapa kusema inafanya kazi. Inalishwa, inafanya kazi. Big percentage.
Okay, let's. This says, my name is Ferdinand Muiti from Ngong. I think the solution to the society as of now is not to create a bad blood between the children and the absent parent. After all, their identity matters a lot.
Absolutely.
Very true.
Yeah.
All right. Mwingine anasema nani? Hi, huyo bada really amedifurahisha. Amesema yote. Na kweli, let us help where possible. I am Boniface Oguta from Nairobi. Yeah, when you said, unasaidia. Someone says, I'm looking for a single mother of one who is ready to settle to contact me. Hey,
this is that show. This is that show.
Something the matchmakers.
We are.
Number ni gani? Wapi number tupeane sahi faster. Okay, listen, we have to end the show. Do we have one more? Oh, yes.
Yeah.
This one says, hi, I'm Esther from Rongai. My dad wanted a baby boy, but here I am. I have 4 brothers. It reached a point where he even wanted me to go around the Mugumo tree. Oh my days, what? 7 times? So I can become a boy. Just one thing, tell me where is my fault? 3 words for him: absent, hatred, sadness. Oh my gosh. No. Okay, no. Listen, we literally have like 1 minute.
Yeah.
Kumaliza show. Moving, the question on how do we solve this? Say it in 1 word, Basi, and then 3 words to describe your relationship with your dad. Who wants to go first? Irene, do you want to start?
So what do I start with?
You start with, what do we need to do to sort of like fix this and bring a family unit together in like 1 word?
Maturity. As our therapist said, intelligence.
Yeah.
And tupendane, tuache kuchukiana. Life ni lazima tukosane.
Okay.
Yeah, it's normal. And then 3
relationships, 3 words you used to describe your relationship with your dad.
With my dad. Though it was not good at first when I was a child, but in the end, before he left me, may his soul rest in peace. Loving, supportive, and caring.
Good.
Yeah.
Really
Eric?
nice.
Children are expensive. Marriage works. Fatherhood should be a carefully thought process. If you separate with your partner, don't admonish them. They both need you for them to be healthy adults.
Okay.
Children are leaders in training. They are small human beings being trained. So take that seriously. My father, he was caring, was a provider, a disciplinarian.
Well,
Oof. Okay. Sharon?
My dad was my strength. He was my compass. And he was my joy. Yes. Okay. He passed on 14 years now, but still, yes. Yes.
Okay. Ellie, how do we fix? How do we, in like 1 word or 2?
Parents need to stop being selfish.
Okay, good.
If marriage doesn't work, parent. Like do the parenting together.
Yeah. Okay.
Relationship with dad. Confusion, resentment, and frustrating.
Okay.
Jackie?
I think to fix this, first get to know each other.
Okay.
Yeah, like get to know each other. You can learn a person, but if you've not lived together, before babies come, that is, ndo maana kuna kwa maybe na hizo. So mnapatana, so you move in because you got pregnant. It's not, you didn't plan, you get. You didn't sit down, you get to learn to each other, and then after that, now you decide, now let's move in. You go the way it used to be kitambo. Hata kama mtaoana, hata kama kuna kororasho. And then make sure you are with your best friend. The person that when something happens, that's the first person you think
call.
about calling, you see? And then from there,
the description?
My description?
Yes. 3 words.
can I give a small story about them?
We do not have time.
My teacher, because he never raised his hand on me.
Okay.
We were 3 brothers and me. So walikuwa sema nyinyi ndo mnamfundisha, and I was the last born. So he was my teacher. He was a disciplinarian, because when he said, "Get wacha," and love him.
Oh, that's really nice.
Because I never saw him even shout at my mom or anything.
Okay. Wow. Thank you for so many. One comment na mufunge show. Wacha nisome one more. My first 3 words, I miss you. Second 3 words, rest in peace. ND, ningekuwa na uwezo, ningekufufua tu. Okay. Then the other one, very quickly. Yeta naogopa kusoma because it's very wacha tu niseme shine on dad in ya Zola Margaret. But hey, we have to say goodbye. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much, guys.
Asante sana.
Wow. You know, wow. And thank you to everybody who called in and shared your comment and shared your stories as well. We say thank you, and we hope that we'll have a better society come few years. I'm very optimistic that things will be fixed and it's gonna get better.
Absolutely. Same here. I am really, really happy that we shared and bared our souls, and we got help as well. Thank you for tuning in. This has been an amazing show. I've been your host, Mwikali Mary.
My name is Winnie. See you tomorrow. We'll continue with the attachment series.
Yeah, tomorrow.